If you can guess what color do-rag I have on, I'll give you a cookie. If you said pink, you only get half a cookie because we got pink and blue on. Let's go. This is to celebrate these two queens. One, but like these two right here. I like these two a lot. And having them together, I think is going to be very interesting. I saw a bit of like them playing Power Wash and it seemed like they were having a good time. Definitely made me laugh a bit. But this is going to be maybe potentially a more serious video, which is fine by me. Like whenever I see a Maury clip or a Maury video, usually it's something that's more real and I appreciate that. Especially because I like hearing the real. But yeah, this one is about Kronii giving Maury therapy, which is interesting because like we already know Maury. Well, I feel like Maury is somebody that is Maury is somebody that pushes themselves very hard, and even though they've already created a lot of success for themselves, it's like they feel like they need more. It feels like Maury needs something else, that next big thing, right? And I think that's normal. That's part of human nature. Like once you achieve some type of goal, you usually create more goals for yourself because you can't just achieve one thing and that's it, right? We always want some type of progression. So to hear Kronii give Maury advice and hopefully, or maybe it's about that, I'm excited to check it out. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this video started since it's already been a minute. I've just been yapping. Let's go.
Like, we're gonna be no matter what impressed and proud of your accomplishments because
Oh, exactly what we're talking about. Let's go.
like you've achieved a lot more than
Yes.
other people, and
True.
it's thanks to the people who support you.
Yeah.
And you
It is.
yourself.
You're
it's up
right.
To, like her.
But I guess
She works hard.
I guess that also is another insecurity that I end up having. Man, I'm like,
Let's
I
hear it.
wonder who would still stick around, you know? If like all of a sudden Maury stopped doing music and stuff like that, and maybe if I just fell off the face of the planet, who would still be there hanging around me? You know, like,
I mean,
what friends would stay?
that's the hard one, right? Like, okay, if you're talking about friends, right? People you consider a friend. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Like, who's really with you in general versus who's with you as a friend because like you guys work together. And especially if you guys are just music friends, what else do you have in common besides music? Because maybe one day your passion for music will fade away. It's definitely an interesting question, right? But it's also something that you shouldn't be too consumed in because at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself. You know, it's you and you at the end of the day. Regardless if you have 50 friends now or you have 100,000 friends a couple years from now, at the end of the day, the biggest priority, at least when it comes to like keeping your type of sanity, is you and you because there's nobody else that can give you that external validation that you may think you need to continue on being a more positive or more happy or more uplifted individual, right? Your achievements speak loudly, but when it comes to like having a friendship, that's something, achievements are just like maybe part of why somebody would like you, but they definitely need to just like you for you in general, because you at the end of the day are the ones that create these achievements. It's not the friends that maybe have inspired you or helped you push for these things, right? They probably gave you a little boost, but at the end of the day, it was still up to you to grab that achievement because you could have easily got boosted by friends and not even made that achievement. So remember to think about you are at the end of the day, and this for you, the viewer, as well. Like you guys at the end of the day are making your dreams and your realities come true. Hey, focus. Hey, talking to you. All right, let's continue.
Stay.
I know you.
Damn, that's deep.
But I mean, like, I get what you mean. I get what you mean, though. Like, sometimes, you met these
camera
friends
is not following. There
because
we
you
go.
guys have
Interesting.
the same
common
expertise or like overlapping hobbies or something, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like people who aren't going to stay, I feel like those people are just people who were never meant to really stick around. Like maybe they were just around for fun times, but
Yeah, that's real.
I feel like
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Like, if you're actually friends with people, they will stick around because, you know, they don't like you for, you know, just your title. They like you for your personality.
Yeah.
I would add on that at the end of the day as well, like when it comes to people being your friend, like yeah, you can guys can be friends, but it's not like your friends are always gonna be there for you or they're always gonna stick around. Like a lot of my friends, they're still back in the States, and you know, all I can do is really call them. But whenever I'm focused on like doing this and living my life, you know, they're living their life as well. And it's not like I don't care about them or they don't care about me. It's just like right now, we're all locked in on our own goals in our own situations. Maury is working inside of a company right now. All of these people, of course, they're working towards the same goals because they have a manager above them telling them to work towards the same goals. And of course, they might have their own individual ambition within the company, right? Maybe somebody wants to have their first solo concert, somebody else wants to have a visual novel game, right? Everybody has their own reason for being in the company, but they're all going to move in the same path. Now, what happens when they split off? Because it might be easier for you to achieve your own goal and your own dream whenever you leave the group. You know, you're still probably going to have these connections, but of course, you guys are going to just talk less, and that's just normal. That doesn't mean you guys aren't friends anymore. But that could also legitimately be the case where you grow apart because you guys just don't interact so often. And then, especially when it comes to growth, right? You might start continuing to focus on your career, and then the other person, they end up saying, well, their career, they feel like they've already achieved it and now they want to focus on something else like family. And then they start having kids, and then like they find a significant other, and the next thing you know, like you guys can't real like you could talk a bit maybe here and there, sure, maybe to catch up, but you guys won't really have that same bond because the focus is different. You're continuing on your goals, and they're family oriented now. And of course, if they have kids, their kids are their main priority and their main focus. Like you are going to come second, like, even if you guys used to be best friends. And that's just how life works. So yeah, and it definitely, you know, I think I think it's good that Maury is expressing this, and she has been expressing this like several times. She's talked about potentially doing something else and looking for the next thing, right? And I, for one, am as like a viewer. I am someone that's like, yeah, just keep going, keep following whatever it is that you feel passionate about, and I think people will just naturally respect that and naturally want to continue following you on your path and your journey, especially if you're doing something for the public like entertainment or education, right? There are going to be people that find that value in you and they want to stick with that. So yeah, just keep doing you, Maury. And at the end of the day, the people you consider friends, they might still be your friends even when you leave. You guys just might not talk as much, and that's life.
Guess I worry too much about it because I keep thinking, what if there's somebody that I really like, that I'm a really good friend with, and all of a sudden I stop being like an important person or a person doing really amazing things or something like that, and then all of a sudden, what if they just don't find worth in me anymore?
Huh.
You know?
Well,
That
then, I mean, if they only like you because they find some type of worth in you, like you're an asset, you're not a friend. So just if you're no longer an asset, then yeah, you're no longer an asset.
They go
and
away.
then they're that kind of person.
You're an
And
asset, bro.
Dad,
You're
what
not
if
a
I
friend.
liked them,
You think
Kronii?
you're
What if
their
I really
friend.
liked them a lot? Friggin' sucks.
it
Yeah, it
does
does
suck,
suck.
but also, you know, when
It
people
does.
go, there are other people who will come into your life,
True.
and
That's
you will
100%
also
true.
like that person.
No, that's 100% true.
Like, for me, I feel like friends happen gradually.
Oh, not out of
Um,
nowhere.
Yeah. And like, especially for me, I keep a pretty small circle because I don't trust people.
Understandable.
And yeah, and
Understandable.
they have to
Understandable.
jump through quite a bit of hoops for me to consider
And there it is.
them as friends.
And
Wow, I
hey,
feel
there it
super
is.
lucky and privileged.
Oh, no.
I'm Croni's friend.
Oh,
Let's go. It's my badge of honor, baby.
no. But like, most important thing is like those people I trust, and you know, I decided to give that trust because I know that, even if I decide not to do something, we'll still keep in touch, play some games, hang out. Those are the people that I consider as friends. And, you know, if I decide not to do something and they stop reaching out, then I guess they were just that kind of friend.
Oh,
And then I would ask the question for Kronii, would you still consider them your friend, even though you guys aren't in touch all the time or you guys aren't playing games anymore, right? Would you still consider them friends, even if they've jumped through all these hoops to get your friendship title? You know, how would you still feel about that? That's a question I would
true
pose.
enough. I think so. I definitely see where you're coming from on that. I think so too. But I'm
It
okay
is
with
sad,
friends who maybe
though.
don't like, talk to me all the time and stuff like that. I'm similar, but I like when I can pick right back up again with friends, even after we haven't, seen each other in a long time.
I
That's
agree.
fine. But I don't know. Maybe like friends that would also ask a lot of you and stuff like that in the past and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden they stop coming around when they don't need you anymore and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like being negative.
I mean, and it can definitely be perceived as negative if somebody only looks at you again as an asset, right? And if you're not an asset, then they don't really come around as often. And like at the end of the day, like it's of course to degrees for what I'm about to say. It's always to a different degree. Like your level and their level might be totally different, and it might not even be that high, but everybody uses everybody for something. Okay, whether when you create a friend or you create you're choosing to put your faith or your type of energy into somebody else, there's a specific reason. It's not necessarily a bad reason, but everybody has a reason to be with somebody else. Either you feel good whenever you talk to them, they give you advice. Like if you only hang out with somebody because they give you good advice, okay, there it is. And that's not a bad thing, right? There's a reason why mentorship programs exist. There are people that are out there willing to give advice, and then there's people out there that are willing to take it. There it is. That's a transaction. Others, it could be they only talk to you because you have wealth or you have money, right? That can be perceived as bad, but if you have money and they do not, and they that's why they're hanging out with you, well, okay, there it is. And for some people, they're fine with that. For others, of course, they don't like that, right? Everybody is talking to somebody or they have some type of reason to hang out with somebody because it's in their benefit. Nobody wants to hang out with somebody that does not give them any benefit in their life because that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why would you hang out with somebody that is actively making your life worse? Why? And like, even if it's family, you can cut them off. You do not have to stay in that relationship. And if you think you have to, I would say you've been manipulated into thinking that you have to because you really don't have to. You can let people go. You can let people go even if you guys are on good standing, right? It's always up to the individual, but nobody is hanging out with somebody for no reason. Everybody has a reason to be with some other human being, especially if they aren't related, especially if they aren't childhood friends. If you just meet somebody down the street and they give you some, I don't know, they give you a compliment. Okay, well, this person's friendly. And then you guys start having a conversation. And now you guys are acquaintances, right? And then you can spin it off from there and become even more. Or you could just stay at that acquaintance level. But at the end of the day, you decided, hey, I'm going to talk to this person because they gave me a compliment, because they've outwardly expressed that they are friendly. Okay, you want to be close to somebody because they're friends with you. There it is. Like that's a transaction. Like that in itself is a reason to have that person as a friend, right? Nobody is friends with somebody for no reason. So yeah, if that is how it is, Crony, Maury, then that's just how it is. Not everybody is going to be in your life forever. Some people are there to help you grow, and then that's it. And that's just how it is. You just got to keep moving forward because, like Crony said earlier, there will be somebody else to come into your life, especially if you gain some type of wisdom from this old acquaintance. Now you have this, and now you are outwardly, using this wisdom. You'll gradually just start gravitating towards people that already have the same wisdom or they have more wisdom to give you. And then that person might be in your life for an extended period of time as well. Not everybody's going to be there for you 24/7 or be in your life for the rest of your life because that's just not how life goes.
No, like I get it.
Though.
Because before, I used to be like, I didn't have too many friends back then, so I wanted to. I guess I still somewhat have this habit where I want to be nice to people, so that they would want me around, because, you know, maybe I'm not too fun to hang around with, maybe I'm too bland.
Too dry.
Yeah, too boring or something, so...
I mean, not silliest, that sounds bad. Funniest person ever, Kronii.
Aw, thanks, man. But,
Thanks,
you know,
man.
there are things like that, and...
No, because, like, definitely, I could see why Kronii thinks that, because definitely, especially, like, with the older clips I've seen, you know, Kronii can be very dry, but like that's part of her humor, and that's why like I enjoy her, right? But other people would see that and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so boring." Especially like when it comes to Hollow Live, like you guys got to remember, you guys are a certain demographic watching this, right? To the average person, and I'm saying like the average, and it's very loose so that I'm using this term. Like say the average 19-year-old that's out there partying, getting drunk, going crazy at the club. If they met Kronii and talked to Kronii, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so boring." Right? That's just how it is. So like just because you guys consider Kronii not boring does not mean other people don't consider her boring. And those are probably people that she has met, maybe even growing up, like going through school or whatever. It just is what it is. Like we like her for her humor. We like her because, well, I like her because she can be dry at times. I think it's funny. But at the end of the day, not everybody is going to like that. And that's why she is saying these things.
But I realized that like, people who will stick around will stick around. Like, sure, there's going to be some drama. Like maybe if you haven't been in touch with them for a while, they might confront you and be like, yeah, I haven't been, like, feeling very good because it feels like, you know, you might have found better friends, and that's why I thought you don't want to be friends anymore. But the thing is, when you have those conversations and it works out, then you can pick it back up.
Yeah, that's
like,
a communication thing. That's it.
Those people might have changed over the years, but so have you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
And
everybody changes.
You can just get to know that new person.
Yeah. That's a positive way to look at it, I think.
Yeah. And they have no choice. You have no choice, but like, yeah, you could be like, oh yeah, I remember back in the day, blah, 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 back in the day, or oh, you used to, or oh, you've changed. Like people only say that you've changed because they don't know how to say that you've grown. And that's all it is. You've grown. Of course, you're different. And they need to get acquainted with the new version of you, right? Maybe last time they saw you, you didn't have the same type of education, and now you're smarter than them. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. How'd that happen? Well, it's because you've grown and you've progressed, right? The training arc, right? Whenever Goku goes in, he gets his ass beat, he goes to train and he comes back and then he beats the bad guy. Like, yeah, that's how it works. To an extent, that's how life works. Like you'll meet somebody, blase blase, and then you leave and then you go learn some new stuff. You learn some new skills. Maybe you even travel a little bit and then you come back and they were still there. They didn't grow. They just stayed them, right? Yeah, you're different now. And they have to get used to that because there's no going back to the old you. Why would you go train, become better just to go back to the old you? Like it doesn't even make sense. And this just is how it is. If they don't like it, then you gotta leave. You gotta cut them off because eventually you will find people that like you for who you are. And remember, people are gonna like you for who you are at that moment. Even if you continue to grow, they might not like it because you're not the same person that they originally met and they originally enjoyed. And that's just life, bro. That you got to cut them off too. You just got to constantly keep going, keep growing, keep meeting new people. There's 7 billion people on Earth. Why do you have to have the same 5 friends? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and if they moved on because, what, I fell off or something, then...
I fell off.
Fell off. Kid,
Yeah.
Can't any more clout from you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah,
Maury
then you
fell
know
off.
what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I usually don't
Tell it like
swear.
it is.
Yeah, but you know, I don't
Kronii
get
fell
sad.
off.
I just
It's
get
all good.
angry. I'm like,
Oh, well, damn.
fuck you.
Okay. I don't get sad. I get angry.
I guess you were always that kind of friend, and that's why you were never gonna pop off.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, well,
shots
I see,
fired.
so, yeah,
Damn.
there's-
I feel like Kronii is thinking about somebody specifically.
That, oh,
Because that
man,
was
that's lame.
uh
I don't want to be treated like
that's
that.
lame.
But I guess it can't be helped sometimes. You
No, that's
encounter all
true.
kinds of people in the world, and
Yes,
you're bound to meet people like that sometimes, you know?
yes.
Exactly. And
It
like,
is
it's
what
not
it
going
is.
to help if you beat yourself up and be like, oh, maybe they left because I wasn't good enough. And you know what?
Maybe you were too
Like,
good.
you have to be the one who has to live with yourself. So
Right.
there's really no point in beating yourself up over it.
Yeah.
And friends are supposed to accommodate with each other.
Oh,
like-
it's a two-way street after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are the one who has to try so hard to
Get so
maintain that
far.
friendship, like being so accommodating and whatnot,
Oh,
then what's
It's
the
probably not
point?
worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
No
not
point
worth it.
whatsoever. It's true. What?
W advice.
Thanks for the Shrek swamp cleaning therapy session,
No, it's not.
therapist Kronii.
And to be honest, I feel like Mori already knew this, right? She just needed to have it said out loud, like an external validation. Like when it comes to growth, these ladies definitely are going back and forth with this conversation. This is not Kronii just giving therapy. They're both adding inputs and talking about the situation. So I think Mori already knew. She just needed to hear from somebody else, and that's totally normal.
No, man. I'm in no
Addressing my
position.
concerns.
No, I'm in no position to like give
But I think it's
therapy
good
to
advice.
people.
I think
You
it's
might
good
be.
advice I should take to heart.
Yeah, everybody
honestly.
has good
I'm
advice.
Sick of being scared if I'm not going to be useful to people anymore, and letting that stress me out and make me do too many things. And trying
Oh,
to accommodate too many
especially.
things. I'm
Yeah,
sick of
especially, girl. You're gonna
Exactly.
go crazy. You're gonna stress
Exhausted.
yourself out and get sick.
Yeah.
it. Your advice has helped me. I'm
Dumb.
going to see it clearer now. It's just hard to
Bro, I love that. I love whenever I do that as well. It's like whenever somebody gives me legitimately like some banger advice, I'm like, damn. I just feel like my brain opened up a little bit more. Like I feel like my like in Dragon Ball Z when Gohan was talking to Guru and he put his hand on his head and then he was he's like, "Oh, potential unlocked." Like yeah, every time I find a new like mentor even if it's at like a certain period of time, like I just take that advice and I keep it with me for the rest of my life. And that's how it feels whenever somebody drops some wisdom on you. You're just like, damn, that was real. And you gotta, hey, you better lock in and keep that because hey, that's growth. That's literally what growth feels like. When you feel it in your brain or you feel it in your heart and you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Like when your eyebrows raise, like, oh, okay, like bro, you better absorb that.
break old habits, I guess.
It
Absorb
is.
it.
It is.
You know? Okay. Bye.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, Don, that was a W video, W advice. Too bad I couldn't watch it on YouTube because the internet here is so slow. Darkson Rar, thank you for clipping this. It was a good clip. I always love the bro talk between these two. When she said what friends would stay, I got flash banged by end of a life. I'm guessing that's an anime. This is a great open moment between them that they shared with us. It also makes Kronii moment with Ame at the end of VR aquarium stream so much more important. Videos like these are the reason why I love Kronii. I love how grounded and genuine Kronii is and how she is not afraid to speak up at times. And I hope Callie doesn't push herself too much to the point of exhaustion and have time to just stop and smell the roses. Yeah, and that's legitimate. Like, stop and smell the roses, stop and smell the coffee. These are terms that are meaning of live in the moment, right? You can't get too caught up. And especially people forget that they are just living their life and maybe they try and put their brain into like somebody else's shoes. Like how many of you like you could like walk down the street, you look at somebody, they look at you and you just start thinking, what are they thinking about? You can't be doing that because you don't know what they're thinking about. Point blank period. You could try and assume and try and figure it out. No point in doing that. Stop and smell the coffee. Stop and smell. Like I have to do the same thing too. Like whenever I'm looking at somebody and they're looking at me, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like it ain't nothing gonna happen. They're not gonna say anything. They're not gonna do anything. You just like, okay, I looked at them, they looked at me. All right, I'm gonna keep moving. And then like 2 minutes from then, you forget that they even existed. And same thing. At the end of the day, like the people around you, you don't exist. You are an NPC. You legitimately do not matter in their life, right? You're not interacting with them. They're not interacting with you. You guys are going about your day, and that's it. And they totally forget that you even were a thing at all, like, period. So, and I think a lot of people need to realize that. A lot of people forget, like, a lot of people think they're the center of the universe. And, like, yeah, you're the center of the universe to you. But to everybody else, bro, you don't exist. Just like when you walk down the street and you pass a couple people and you don't even say hello to them, like, you barely acknowledge them. Like, maybe you look at their outfit and that's it. Like, same thing. They're doing the same thing to you, bro. So yeah, don't get too caught up in it. Anyways, it's your boy KhunShawn dropping some wisdom and knowledge on you. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and shout out to the Discord because that's where this came from. Join the Discord link down below. Drop your videos, especially like this. I love videos like this. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.